Because if they won't share the truth with you, then that relationship is not genuine.
Hello, this is Pendo. I want to welcome you back again today to MillionaireBaibe. Today I have my guest back again, Dr. Wendy Jackson. It's really a pleasure to have you here again.
It's a blessing to be back. It really, really is.
So Dr. Jackson is a Jacksonville native. She is an educator. She has a MBA, MSN, and DNP in nursing. She actually has a plethora of knowledge that she can share, not just with me, but with other nurses here in the US. It's really an honor to have you again today.
Same here. Miss you, Pendo. Same here.
So recently we were talking and you told me that you were interested in starting a career coaching about positivity and encouraging others. What really prompted you to do that?
Well, because I felt like there's a lot of individuals, Christian women, that have certain goals, and I wanted to help them to achieve that goal. So they may have had something traumatic or devastating to happen in their life, and they feel like they've been disqualified. Well, I'm here to say, no, you've not been disqualified, and I can help you with some strategies to help you get back on track so that you can achieve those goals that you have for yourself. So that in achieving your goals, you also help others. So that's what I wanted. That's why I started it.
So the whole idea is that you encourage one, and by encouraging another, you lift others.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I truly believe that when you help others, they too can be strengthened to help someone else. And as I stated last week, it's all about lifting one another up so that we can reach back or reach ahead to help others.
That reminds me of what we really believe a lot in Tanzania, the umoja culture system, whereby we work together as a team, we uplift each other, we share what we can with each other, because we believe that by working as a community and working with other people, we're not only developing ourselves, but we're developing the whole community.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I've never heard that, but I truly believe that that is why I do what I do. I always believe in giving back, because the reason why I am where I am is because someone reached out to help me. So I have to pay it forward by helping everybody else that I come along with, I meet. So I think that's very, very important. It's not about just me. It's about who can I influence? Who can I help to help their dreams come to pass?
Yeah, you're right. Looking back over my life, I can definitely tell you that there are so many people who've made a really big impact on my life. First of all, like, it's really God's grace, but on top of that, my parents have been very supportive for me through this whole experience being in this new country and just trying to integrate into the system. And I have really relied a lot on their advice. Like, my dad is very big about not spending a lot of money on cars, and I have stuck with that all this time. And I've been in this country, 10 years, I've never financed a car because of just, listening to what my parents have told me.
That's awesome.
Over the years. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's good advice.
And other things like don't co-sign for a loan for anyone.
Never.
Yeah, that's something that I learned too. And also about real estate, I learned the advice that I have from real estate from my dad. You go to the best neighborhood that you can and buy the cheapest house.
You shared that with me on Saturday. I said, okay, that's some really good advice.
Yes, because the whole idea is that when you're buying real estate, let's say you bought a house for $200,000, right? So if you're in a neighborhood and another person bought in the same neighborhood for 500,000, if your house goes up by, let's say, 100,000, you still gain. Now, if you are, let's say, in a recession and the housing prices start to go down, the one who bought a house for 500,000 is in much more pain than you. So you're still in the same neighborhood,
Right.
but there's more gain in just practicing a simple life, you know. And
Right.
I learned most of my frugal behavior actually from my mom. I credit her. They're very simple and frugal people in Tanzania, and it's crazy how some things that you take for granted in your upbringing really, when you, after a few years, you start seeing just how important they are.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Well, I can say that I probably can learn a lot from you. Especially when it comes to that. I need to say no a lot more to some of my purchases. So that's why I love you so much, because as I stated earlier, even though you are so much younger than I am, you have so much wisdom. You have so much wisdom, and I learn from you. So just because someone may be younger does not mean that me being older and people being older, we can't learn from you. So I learn pretty much from everybody I have an encounter with. I learn a lot of things, and I'm doing my best to incorporate them in my daily life. I listen. I just need to apply it.
Yes. Yeah. So, what personality traits do you think one has to have in order to be successful even in a challenging world?
I think for me personally, my faith. My faith is my life. It is something that I know with challenges that I've had, that I wouldn't be who I was today if I did not have a relationship with Jesus Christ. And I hope that I can say that, and I cannot leave him out of it, because he is why I am here today. When I wake up in the morning, before I even get out of bed, I'm having a dialogue with him. I'm talking with him. I'm sharing my heart to him before my feet even touch the ground. Throughout my day, I'm having conversations with him, and you probably would never even know. As I walk down the halls, I'm talking to him. If I'm in my car, I have music on. Most of the time, that's uplifting. I'm listening to a sermon. It's all about him as to how I project onto others, because he fills me up. He gives me peace. And so because I'm at peace, because he gives me my joy, because he gives me my strength, when I meet other people, they will feel that as well. And it's only because of him. Because every day is not a good day. Every day is not a good day. But I realize that there are some people, because of that one little bad day, it doesn't mean that the next day has to be a bad day. Because I've had a bad couple of hours, it doesn't mean that the rest of my life has to follow along that path. And that is only because I keep myself uplifted because of my faith.
You keep your cup full.
Absolutely. Because there are so many things that can empty it. We have so much negativity that we experience in our lives. And I think that if I did not have that, then I could not smile. I would not have peace, and I certainly wouldn't have joy. And I have to thank him for that.
Amen. Yeah, some other things also that somebody really has to have, for example, is resilience and persistence. Let's say you have a plan that you're working towards, and you need to focus on what your goal is, and you need to stay persistent until you get to that final step.
Right.
So you need to have this mentality where you don't quit because there are challenges. sometimes we have different challenges in life. It could be finances, it could be health issues. Sometimes it could even be the friends that we're surrounding ourselves with. So we have to be very decisive about who you let into your life. There's that mentality we have here, crabs in a bucket mentality. You have to be careful that you're bringing in the right people into your life who will add value and meaning and purpose.
Right. Once again, you're correct. The right people can cause you to be more positive, and they can add value to your life, but in the same token, negative people can drag you down. So back to being resilient. To be resilient, you have to think about, why am I doing this? What is this about? Who's going to benefit from this? And then having, like you said, a plan. When I start seeing things that are taking me away from it, that are distracting me, what am I going to do about these challenges, these obstacles that I'm facing? What is going to be my plan to get me back on track? And as you stated, if you know your purpose, if you have a plan for when you have setbacks, it can only help you to get closer to your goal. And also, as you get closer to your goal, reward yourself. Even though you haven't gotten to the final piece, reward yourself along the way. And remember why you made the decision to make this goal. Is it going to benefit you and your family? Is it setting a good example for your children? Is it helping you in your finances? Does it glorify God? I have to always go back to Him. Why are you doing this? And if you can remember the reason why you're doing it, it can help you to continue ahead to meet that goal. Because it's not easy. When you set your mind to do something, you'll have things that come up as obstacles. You'll have things that will come up to try to detract you from where you're trying to get. But you just have to remember, what is my purpose in meeting this goal, and who can I help as I meet this goal?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Actually, you just reminded me, because one of the reasons why I started this channel, MillionaireBaibe, was really about encouraging minority women like me to learn more about finances, because I think that financial knowledge is very important, especially in the times that we're living in right now. It's okay to get good grades, to have a steady career, but if you don't know anything about your finances, you're really in a very dangerous position, because you'll meet people who will take advantage of you. And I just wish that more women would be interested in learning about investing, budgeting, and just building wealth for themselves. Because when you are in a better financial position, then you start from a place of strength. So even if, let's say, you're going to be in a relationship with someone, you're not a dependent. You're looking for a mutual partner. You're not looking for someone to save you. You're just looking for someone who will add value into your life. So that's very important.
So with financial empowerment, it allows you to be able to make choices. For example, getting out of a marriage that no longer serves you. It allows you to go back to school. You don't have to worry about how the tuition will be paid. It allows you to pursue a dream that perhaps you've had in your heart, but didn't have the finances to back it. So it allows you to have choice, to live in the neighborhood that you pass by, you see every day, you dream about. You've even gone up and looked, now I'm talking about myself, you've even gone in and looked around the neighborhood. With financial empowerment, you go and put an offer in, you apply for school, and you pray to God to bring you somebody that's going to uplift you, empower you, and is going to be the perfect spouse for you. So it gives you a lot of choice, where if you weren't, you don't have those options. And that's what I'm working toward, to be honest.
You're right. Yeah. So just getting financial knowledge and being empowered is very important for women, because it's very important that you start, like I said, from a place of strength. You're not starting from a place of need, but you're starting from a point of strength. And also, I think as women, we need to believe more in ourselves.
Oh my goodness.
Because it's surprising that most people, their perception of their self is very different from what other people view themselves.
Unfortunately, we live in a society where if you don't drive a certain car, live in a certain neighborhood, if you're not a certain size, if you're not a certain color, if you don't come from a certain background, you feel as if you're not beautiful. You feel as if you have no value. But the devil is a lie, because anything that God made has value. So we as ourselves need to believe that. We need to walk in that. How do you do that? You have to get in touch with yourself. You have to arm yourself with information. For me personally, that's having a relationship with the Lord, but also speaking to yourself. Now, other people might hear you, so you may want to go into your space where nobody else is, but just silently speaking things over your life, making confirmations. I am beautiful. I have value. I will be successful. So saying things that are negative can only make us feel bad about ourselves. But when we speak positive, we start feeling good about ourselves. So when we look in the mirror, you say, hey, I look good today. Oh, okay, I'm losing a little weight, losing this little chin. You know, you say things like that. But if you don't have that, then what you see on TV, you think that you have to be. And that's not true. That's not true. God made each and every one of us different for a purpose. As I was telling one of my students, could you imagine if all of us were exactly alike? How boring would that? You would be marrying somebody like you. And you know that's not going to work. So yeah. I know it's not going to work for me, because having another person that is exactly like me, oh my gosh, that would just, no, that would work. So just knowing that you're beautiful, okay? You may not live in that neighborhood. You may not have that husband, that education, that financial status. But God made you for a purpose. You have a purpose. You are beautiful. You have value. And you just need to learn that and walk in it. And He'll bless you. Talk to Him. Have a relationship with Him. And in the Bible, it spells out how He made you beautiful, how He made you different. And if you arm yourself with that knowledge, you'll have it. You'll have it here. You'll feel it. And the way you interact with people will be different. And the way you see yourself will also be different. So that's why I keep going back to the faith piece, because that's how I live.
Amen. You're right. Actually, Jeremiah 1 verse 5 says, before I formed you, I knew you.
Yes.
So it's like we don't have to work hard to earn God's acceptance. We were accepted straight from birth. We
Amen.
are worthy from
Amen.
birth.
Amen.
And it goes further to say that actually God set us apart. So I wish that more women would see themselves the way God sees them. When God looks at us, looks at me, looks at you, He sees a perfect creation. And despite whatever challenges we might be going through in our day-to-day life, if we find our value in God, that's something that can never be taken away.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And that's so true. That's so true.
Yeah.
And that's what we have to learn.
I mean, these titles, I have a MSN, you have a DNP. those titles can be taken away.
Absolutely. They mean nothing. They mean absolutely nothing if you're unhappy with yourself.
Yeah.
And that's what it all pretty much boils down to, is how you see yourself. Because people will feel it. If you don't feel good about yourself, if you don't have confidence, people see it. And if I see someone that I feel that needs to be encouraged, I do my best to spend time with them to try to lift them up. And they may not see what I see, but I will tell them what I see to uplift them and to let them know you have value. You have a purpose. You have meaning. Because God created you. He created all of us. And as you said, He has set us apart. So I think when you get to have that mindset, there's nothing that can come in your life that you will not be able to work through, because you know your value. You know that this situation it's not going to make me, it's not going to break me. And the only person that could make or break me is Jesus Christ, having a relationship with Him.
Yeah, and despite whatever situation you might be in, let's say you're trying to apply for a job, or maybe you're trying to apply for a mortgage, you don't get approved. Sometimes a no doesn't mean that you won't get there. It's just a pause. You need to go back, reevaluate your life, maybe check your credit again, and reapply again. You need to keep trying until you get to that point.
And that's true. Many times when we set goals for ourselves, we may not reach that goal, but don't give up. Get back up. Reevaluate your situation. And then get back to work. Sit down with God. Find out if this is His path for you. Okay? How do you know when He's speaking to you? You'll have an inner peace that tells you this is the direction to take. Or you may even have somebody that comes that you've not even had a conversation with, and they will confirm what you held in your heart. Because a lot of people are like, I don't know how to hear from God. I don't know when God is speaking to me. God can speak through the TV. God can speak through the radio, through people. But a lot of times you'll know that it's the word for you because you get a peace. So.
Yeah, that's very true. And the other thing too is that we need to learn how to collaborate with other people, because sometimes God brings people into your life
for a reason,
to help you. And so the people that you think might actually help you, I've seen this in my own life, are not the ones who are actually going to elevate you to that next status. You have to be very careful how you interact with other people, because if you end up looking down at some people, those might be the actual people that God has brought into your life to take you to that next stage.
But then I also feel like, for me, myself personally, I always ask God, is this person for me? And He will reveal it. God put people in my life that I can help, but also put positive people in my life that I can learn from, that I can gain knowledge from. And I think you need to put that into your prayers, because He will certainly answer. So it may not be the answer that you're looking for, but He will reveal it. And a lot of times we need to know that information so that we can make a decision. Is this someone that I want to continue to interact with? Is this person adding value to my life? Or are they, when I leave them, what is my mood like? Do they uplift me? Or when I leave them, I'm depressed, I'm thinking negative thoughts? If that is the case in every interaction that you've had with this person, then you may, because it could be family, you may need to limit that. And then you also want to pray for them and ask God to help them with whatever they're going through with their mindset, because you can't leave prayer out.
You're right. Yeah. What is your favorite Bible verse?
My favorite Bible verse is God came to give us life and give us life more abundantly.
Okay.
John 10:10.
Okay.
I'd have to say that was my favorite Bible verse because we don't even know what abundance looks like. I know I don't know according to what God has in mind for us. So John 10:10 is very important because as long as Wendy is on this earth, I'm going to be in pursuit of the abundance that he has in mind for us. And when I think of abundance, it's like the Garden of Eden, where everything we need is there. So that's what I think of abundance. So abundance is something that I hope to know a lot more about. I hope to learn a lot more about. And a lot of people feel like we shouldn't be valuing things, and we shouldn't always look for things that are rich and abundant. But heaven, I hope everybody wants to go there, is rich. Streets lined with gold. That's abundance. That's having no lack. So that's what I'm in pursuit of, because back to financial empowerment, when we are empowered, we can reach out and help those that have no power. We can reach out and help the less fortunate. But if I'm struggling paycheck to paycheck, I'm kind of limited in what I can do for others. So when we have financial empowerment, we can help better serve others.
Yeah. It says, I'll just paraphrase. It says, "For the thief came to lie, cheat, steal, and destroy. But I came that you may have life." And not just any life, an abundant life.
Not a life where you're struggling, not a life where you're confused and depressed. That's not abundance. That's not what he has in mind for us. He has the best in mind for us. So that's living a life of abundance. A life of joy, a life of peace, a life where we can give back to others. Because everyone is not as fortunate as you and I are. And those are the people that we need to help. Back to giving back, when you said having people that are positive in your life, I have noticed that as a nurse, we are one of the most giving people. Everything I have, I've gained because of a relationship I had with a fellow nurse that looked out for me, that gave me knowledge, told me about what jobs were out there. I wouldn't have had all that knowledge if it wasn't for a fellow nurse. So that's what I want to do for others. That's what we need to do for others. Like you said, that crabs in the barrel mentality, I know it's out there, but I don't really see it because the people that I interact with are always sharing, giving. So I don't want to meet those crabs. I want those crabs to stay in that barrel, but far away from me.
Well, the way life works is that if you think with an abundance mindset,
yes,
if you think there is enough for everyone, then you're more willing to share.
Mm-hmm.
But if you think with a poverty mindset,
yes,
then you're going to try and hoard everything, your assets, links to jobs. You're just going to try to keep everything to yourself.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But you know that English saying, closed lips don't get fed. Mm-hmm. So you have to be open.
Right.
The more you actually give, the more you extend yourself to help others, you may never get that help back from that same person. But I have seen it in my own life. You will never lack. Mm-hmm. Somehow help will come back to you in one form or the other.
It will. It's, you reap what you sow. If you reap good things to benefit others, you will sow good things. If you sow good things, you'll reap good things. It's like it's never wasted. When you are in need, God will send somebody around to replenish you, to give you what you need. And it's because he saw you when you had your last, but you sacrificed your last to help somebody out when you could have just used it on yourself. And as nurses, healthcare, that's all we do. So it's very, very important that we realize that just when you feel as if you've gotten to the end, God will provide a way and give you more than what you ever thought you had. He will bless you because you sought to bless somebody else.
Amen. So what's your favorite food?
What's my favorite food? I'd have to say Asian food. I really, really like Asian food. I like food in general.
Okay.
I really like Asian food. I mean, I like food. I mean, you could see that. I really, really enjoy food. But if I had to say one type of food, it would be Asian food. And it's something as simple as like shrimp fried rice. I absolutely could eat it day in, day out. I love shrimp fried rice.
What's your favorite color?
All of them. Because I look good at all of them. I love anything that has really bright, colorful hues to it. So it's kind of hard to narrow it down to say what color, because I like all of them. And they were all made by God, and I wear every single one that I can. I can't think of one that I wouldn't wear because it came from him.
Okay. And if you were to go on a vacation, where would you want to go? What's your favorite destination?
I'm trying to get to Paris. I don't know how I'm going to make it. But that's my dream, and I want to share it with my family. So many people don't like their family, don't have family. So, as I stated last week, my family is like my lifeline. They're truthful, they're honest, sometimes a little bit too honest. And they tell me when I have... when I may be thinking a little bit too highly of myself. In other words, they ground me. And I think that you should never, ever have someone in your life that won't share the truth with you. Because if they won't share the truth with you, then that relationship is not genuine. And it doesn't serve a purpose. All of us need relationships that ground us. My family grounds me. They're honest with me, and I know it's because they care. So I think that's very important.
Okay. And if you had things to take to your vacation, what 3 things would you take?
What 3 things would I take? My Bible, my phone, and my lip gloss. Those are very, very, now those aren't going to get me through some rough areas like terrain and emergencies, but I think a young lady needs to have really moisturized lips. Okay. So that's what my 3 things would be.
Okay, so...
Well, I can always phone if I have an issue, hopefully. So a phone, the Bible, and lip gloss.
Okay, so in ending, what are you most grateful for?
Everything. Everything. And I try to, even with bad things that have happened in my life, I've gone through a lot. But I try to always see the positive in it. And I try to always reach out to God. Well, God, why did this happen? And what should I learn from it? How can I help others? So even though they haven't necessarily been times where I've been comfortable, where I did not cry, where I did not come depressed, I always try to learn from it. And I always try to help others that may be in the same predicament that I've been in. So I think that's very valuable.
Amen. And where can we find you?
You can find me on YouTube. You can find me on Pinterest. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, any of those social media formats, or any of those, Wendy H. Jackson. And you probably can search my name and find me. Thank you very much.
So this has been Millionaire Babe. I thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to comment and subscribe to the channel. I will see you guys next time.